Sheriff Ray Nash with Police Dynamics Media. I want to talk to you today about this independent spirit. This independent spirit is an officer who has stepped out from under authority. He's essentially taken the attitude, I don't need you telling me what to do. I don't need you telling me how to do my job. I'm in this for me. I'm reserving final decisions for myself. And when they step out from under the protection of their authorities, they tend to build up these walls of hostility, I call them. And they're an attitude that separates this officer from his or her authorities. And given enough time, these walls can become thick enough and tall enough to separate this officer from other important relationships in his or her life, up to and including the family. And when that happens, we really have a picture of a burned out, cynical old cop. But out of this attitude, this stronghold of pride and arrogance, there's certain predictable patterns of behavior. One of the things that we see is this officer tends to take things that happen to them personally, as opposed to taking things professionally. Even a violation of the law can become a personal offense to this officer. It goes something like this. They pull somebody over for speeding. How dare you speed on my street? I'm going to write you this ticket, teach you this lesson. Or how about this one? How dare you not stop immediately as soon as I activate my blue lights? I'm going to drag you out of this car kicking and screaming. I'm going to verbally abuse you right here on I-95. And I don't care if my video camera is rolling. Some of you have been around long enough to remember the infamous Beckwith case. Beckwith was a South Carolina state trooper working the I-95 corridor not far from my own jurisdiction, and he went to pull this lady over for some traffic violation. And she didn't run from him, but she didn't pull over right away either. She just sort of took her sweet little time, and eventually she got around to pulling over. And for whatever reason, this infuriated Beckwith. And he goes charging up to that car. He unleashes a verbal assault on this woman. It was just incredible. He drags her out of the car. She has an emotional reaction and collapses right there on the side of the highway. And he continues this verbal assault on this woman while she's there on the side of the road. And the whole thing is captured on his in-car video camera. 6 o'clock news all across America. Let me tell you something, folks. That was an expensive videotape. It cost Beckwith his job, and it cost the citizens of South Carolina $400,000 to settle the lawsuit. And I mean settle it, because we don't show that video to a jury, do we? We just add another zero if you're going to do that. No, we're going to settle that baby. They settled that lawsuit, $400,000, and there was no injuries. Now, he roughed her up a little bit, don't get me wrong, but there was no injuries. She essentially got $400,000 for taking a tongue lashing. Now, how many of you would take a tongue lashing for $400,000? You take one every day for free, you might as well get paid for it. That's what I'm talking about. Or how about this one? How about this scenario? How dare you not stop for my blue lights? Me and my buddy's going to drag you out of that car kicking and screaming, and we're going to beat you up with our sticks. Do you know that we can trace virtually every instance of police misconduct back to a violation of this very principle? An officer stepping out from under authority, taking things personally, and then taking it out on the individual that he's dealing with. That's the independent spirit.